So in this video, I wanted to quickly share with you my Instagram content strategy that I have put in place for myself as well as for people that work with me to help them with their content marketing strategies that they have to use in their business. They work with me simply because I am very good at working in the background while they are working in the front end of their business. But I can also provide insights on how best that they could leverage their activities in the front end of their content production on Instagram and benefit the business in the back end. There are a lot of moving parts behind the scenes that don't usually get seen in front of your Instagram content strategy that you put. So it's not just about the images and stuff like that. People who are actively creating content on Instagram, they are creating content on Instagram with the goals of targeting and attracting customers. Some of you guys have been creating content on Instagram for so long, and the differences between you and people who are actually making money on Instagram is the fact that people who discovered that it's possible to create content and publish on Instagram, target potential buyers or target potential customers and then attract them, and then convert them into buyers. When we are buying products or services, we buy from people that we know and trust that these are the people that we should be doing business with. And Instagram offers that opportunity that you get to know people first and then buy products and services. And a lot of people who are actually working on Instagram find it very difficult to sort of like fit in all the social platforms that are available where you could be able to go and sort of like connect with the potential customers who can actually either follow you or maybe become visitors on your blog. There's a difference between somebody following you and somebody visiting your blog. I do visit a lot of blogs. I visit a lot of websites. I even go on and visit a lot of Instagram accounts. I don't follow everybody simply because I choose to follow people who are in the same type of mindset. There's always something that I'm looking for whenever I'm following somebody. So if I choose to follow you on Instagram, it's either because you're publishing content that I can relate with, and that moves together with even the way how I buy services, products and services. I buy them from people that I know and I can trust. If you are looking into earning that type of trust where you've built a reputation over time with a certain type of audience on the marketplace, Instagram is one of the best ways. But the problem is if you have an Instagram account and you have to do, you have to actively create content for Instagram, it takes you away from some of the activities that should be happening in the business. Instagram works very well for people who have found a way of sort of like integrating all the activities that are happening on Instagram as well as in their business, together. And that's where an Instagram content strategy comes in. And while there are so many people who are actually teaching about how to come up with the best ideas for Instagram content and things like that, very few people are actually talking about systems that they use in creating content. So this video, what I want to do is just to quickly give you some of the tips, some of the best ways that you could use, and I'll also link below this video. I'll give you a link so that you can go and download the system that I actually use to produce about 7 pieces of content using a system from one piece of content. All right. If you're starting a blog, chances are that for that blog to be discovered, you're going to have to do a lot of promotion and a lot of marketing yourself so that your content is visible, your audience is able to discover your content and then build sort of like a following about your blog. All right. But the challenge is when you find that your audience is hanging out on different platforms, leveraging time to create pieces of content that can actually cross over all the platforms, like on YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, Some of them are into audio. They listen to podcasts and things like that. For you to be able to find time to sit down and create pieces of content for all these platforms, it can be challenging. So you will find that some gurus are telling you that focus on one thing. Don't be on everything. Focus on one thing. It's possible to actually do all the things at the same time, as long as you have systems that you've put in place that you can actually use for yourself. And that's what we're sharing in this video, and a properly detailed list of all the tools that I use for creating my pieces of content, for some of the services that I use outside of my business, for making sure that everything falls in place. I'm gonna leave a link below this video. So if you need to download that free copy, make sure you go below this video, and then you're going to find a link that takes you to a page where you can download that and you can use it in your business as well. All right. So the first thing that I do is I create a video. Some of you guys know it now. At least by now you know that video is one of the most popular pieces of content that keeps growing, you know, year after year, month after month. There's just very few platforms left at the moment where video is not part of the content that has to go there. You go on Facebook, on your page, pretty much 3/4 of content published today on your stream is videos. Go on Instagram, it's the same thing. So there is really no hiding the fact that video is dominating. And as a business owner, somebody who knows the benefits of being consistent when you have a marketing content strategy in place, you have to make sure that you're showing up in these platforms with the type of content that is able to to target and attract the type of customers that I'm looking for. So fitting Instagram content strategy into a strategy that crosses across the board can be challenging if you don't know what you're doing. But like I said, my first piece of content that I do is I create video, and out of that, my first step is, once I've created that video, I edit it. All right, I edit it and publish on my YouTube channel. That's the first step. The next step is I share my copy of the video inside my Dropbox, where I've got virtual assistants who actually help me extract the audio out of the video and then edit it into a podcast. But I also extract the text format of the video, like transcribing the video into a text format, which is edited and then published on my blog as a blog post. So you can see I started with a video that got published on the YouTube, and then I extracted a podcast out of it that is published on my podcast, and then I extracted I transcribed the video that ended up producing my blog post. But that's not all. I also create 2 pieces of visual images, one for Instagram and one for Pinterest, out of the same pieces that has been published, because when I've published my blog post, I have to create a Pinterest visual image of that blog post and then publish that on my Pinterest account. That gives me another piece of content that I can actually put on my content calendar that is scheduled to go out as part of the one video that I produced. Catchy quotes that are within that blog post, anything that I said in my video or anything that I included that can be turned into daily tweets that can go out. They'll extract that, create that tweet, and then schedule that tweet. So I will have 3 or 4 tweets created out of that blog post and scheduled to go out throughout the week from that one piece of content. And going back to the video as well, I will also have somebody who works with me. He will go through my video, my edited video, or my raw video, and prepare video clips that can be posted on Facebook as well as on my Instagram account, and those will also be scheduled in between the week. So you will find that it's possible for me to repurpose one piece of video and create a set of different pieces of video without actually sitting down every other day to create these pieces. Or I could have a video going out on Monday, a blog post going out on Tuesday, a podcast going out on Wednesday, the Pinterest going out on the Thursday, and on Friday I would have all the other pieces of content that I have going out as well. Always have 3 or 4 pieces of content going out on a day-to-day basis, simply because this system allows me to be able to use that and then use the scheduling tools that I've got in place to schedule those pieces of content. So there is really no day where I have no pieces of content going out, simply because this has been put in place. One video that has gone on my YouTube channel produces video clips that can be published on Instagram, as well as video clips that can be published on my Facebook page. That's not all. When all this is done, with that system in place, it's possible for you to be able to create a piece of content once, and then roll out content that can go out throughout the whole week without you sitting down to create any other new piece of content. So even if you have a busy life where you've got a 9 to 5 that demands you to only create content on Saturday, if you could do, or if you could use the very same system that I'm talking about here, and produce only 2 videos on Saturday and Sunday, one video on Saturday, one video on Sunday, these 2 videos could produce 14 pieces of content that can actually go out twice or 3 times a week. You could publish 2 blog posts every week. You could publish 2 videos that week. You could publish 2 Pinterest images. You could publish numerous clips out of that one video from that can be extracted from just one video for your Instagram as well as for your Facebook page. And you could also extract tweets that come out of your blog post and things like that. So you will find that with this strategy, your Instagram content strategy is not going to be a standalone. It's going to be part of a bigger picture of how you produce content on a day-to-day basis. So don't go out there and start thinking that when you are creating content for your brand, it has to be content specifically for Instagram, content strategy specifically for your blog or for Pinterest and stuff like that. It's a huge disconnect of what exactly you should be using. People who are consistently producing content for their blog, they are doing this simply because they've got systems in place. And if you don't have a system in place for your blog, you are gonna drown in this. Below this video there's a link. Go and download content marketing strategy that I'm talking about here, and inside it there is a system that you can actually use to restructure the way how you produce content, and you are gonna find it a lot easier. All right.